Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to High Noon in Cowtown. Welcome to the historic Fort Worth Stockyards and this beautiful arena.
Put your hands together, Mr. Adrian Murray.
Thank you. We have come a long way, haven't we? For those who remember, it was a year and a week ago that a group gathered outside the Cowtown Grill on Camp Bowie Boulevard, answering Rick Santelli's call for a tea party. And we had signs there that night that said, "Stop spending our money and stop the porculus," although we knew deep down that this was not just about spending. We had signs there that said, "Honk if I'm paying your mortgage." But we knew deep down that this was more than just about the mortgage crisis. There were signs that said, "Stop spending my future," or "Tax enough already." But we all knew that deep down this had a lot more to do with something other than just taxes. And there was a sense, I recall, of hopelessness at the time. I had people asking me, "Do you think it's too late? Were we asleep too long?" And I told them, no, exactly no, that we can do this, we can overcome. And I was privileged to speak on April 15 at LaGrave Field at the Tea Party in Fort Worth. I don't know if that was a blessing or a curse, but at that speech I said that what happened was all our fault, because we were searching for a voice. We were searching for someone else to be our voice. And I ended that speech by saying that it would be remembered for generations to come that when this nation teetered on the edge, when freedom and liberty were at their gravest peril, in the hour that mattered most, we found our voice. We found our courage. We answered freedom's call. And on this day, we turned the tide. And I still believe that when history is written of this time, that it will be said on April 15, 2009, the American people did turn the tide. And I'll tell you that because history is written by the victors, and we will be the victors in this battle. And then we realized that we had to do things on our own. We couldn't wait for the next April 15 to get together, so our group held an event in North Richland Hills called America's Awakening. We just paid for it out of our own pockets, but we felt we had to keep the movement going. And then all across the country, people formed into different groups, either Tea Parties or 9/12 groups or Educators of Liberty or 10th Amendment groups. And then we faced the long, hot summer of town halls. And we were ridiculed in the media. And we were ridiculed by other politicians who called us rednecks and racists and domestic terrorists. And no one came to our defense. No one in Washington, D.C. stood up for us. We were on our own all summer long, but we stopped Obamacare. And we have come to find out that when we are abandoned by our leaders, that we have to be our own leaders. And that when the people lead, the leaders will follow. But the one thing that we did learn is that what was at jeopardy here was not just taxes or spending, but it all boiled down to a three-syllable word: liberty. We found out that when we woke up, the United States of America had turned into the type of nation that our forefathers had fled, and liberty was at peril.